Welcome. This spring we were working on a project in graph theory or game theory, better combinatorial game theory. It also has connections with combinatorial group theory and computer science. So it's a joint computer science and mathematics project. So we decided to look at games like, the popular games we have, like rubik type games or chess games or card games or sliding games, and describe them using graph theory. So here is the setup. We define everything purely graph theoretically, and we distinguish between two cases. We have solitaire cases, one-player cases, and we have two-player cases. And three-player cases is already a different thing, like the three-man chess here. Once you are with three or more people, players, you have the problem of possible collusions, and the setup is no more as simple. Also, everything is deterministic, everything is finite. We have a graph. Everything is defined by a graph. So in the case of a solitaire, we have a finite, simple, directed graph, and the going from a node to a neighboring node is just one of the possible moves. Like here, we have a Rubik type game, and we can go with prescribed set of rules. We can move, or with a sliding puzzle like here with a 2x2 sliding puzzle, we are in a finite setup. The n times n version of this is NP complete, so it belongs also to complexity theory. And the 5x5 puzzle, the usual one which kids play, is already unsolved, in the sense we don't know the diameter of the whole graph. It's too large of a graph. 16 factorial possible positions. So yeah, so we have a finite simple graph, and then we have an initial position. Sometimes we give an initial position, like in a Rubik cube, it's just maybe a random initial position, but we just prescribe an initial condition. And we have also a set A, which we consider to be the solved position. So in the case of the Rubik, I have here actually one of the Rubik. This is a 2x2x2 Rubik, which is here solved. This is the set A. Sometimes we just assume that the A is part of a vertex set where we don't have any more, we don't play anymore. So if we reach this solved position, we don't play anymore. This sometimes is useful, like in the case of a peg puzzle here. So when you play, then here we can no more play. So this is an end position. So there is a set of equilibria where we don't play anymore. Now, there is, of course, an alternative. Either a game is, either you have a connection from V to the solution set, or you don't. Sliding puzzle here is kind of a famous case because we have an invariant notion. We have the parity plus the distance of the hole to the origin is an invariant. Modulo 2 is an invariant. So there are two possibilities. Either you have a solution. In this case, if you start here with a vertex here, you have a solution. The maximal distance here is 6. The God number is 6. And that's kind of the notion which we are interested in, the God number of the puzzle. So in the case of the Rubik cube, the standard Rubik cube, that's famously, God number is 20. You can, with 20 moves, you can solve it from any initial position. So the graph diameter, if you don't prescribe where we start, we just take the graph diameter of the puzzle as our God number. For a two-player game, we also assume a graph theoretical setup. So what we have is a bipartite graph now. We have a graph with two types of vertices. The vertices V are the vertices where the player V plays and the vertices W are the cases where the player W plays. And again, we have just an initial condition. In chess, this is the usual, initial setup of the board. And there is a win set, which can be any position which we consider winning is in this set. Take equilibria, these are sets where we don't continue anymore. For example, in chess, if both have only a king, we don't continue anymore. It doesn't make sense to play anymore, and so we don't have any outgoing vertex anymore from such a position. So always a game event is just a maximal, simple pass in the graph. So that's here also. It's just a path we go, and we assume it is simple. So finite, simple, maximal graphs as game events, and the strategy is now just a subgraph. And there's a strategy for V, a strategy for W, and G is a win for V if V has a strategy such that every game event now ends in the winning position. And similarly for W, and if that doesn't work, then we have a draw. So there are two possibilities that you have a draw. Either you end up in a position which is equilibrium, or the path cannot be continued in that subgraph. Let's look at examples. So in the case of Solitaire, this is a very typical example. It's not a Cayley graph situation, but it's an example which is related to sorting. It's a famous game. Every kid has played it. I played it a lot, and so it's the 15 puzzle is the usual setup. We looked here also at other small cases and computed the God number. For the 3 times 3 we are already unable, but it's kind of close. Now for the rubik also we can compute it in different cases. There are cases which can be done easily, where we can write down the entire graph, like the floppy. And this is kind of the simplest rubik type graph, where we have just a symmetric group S3 or the dihedral group. Here the God number is 3. Now case number C is a game which is also very famous, especially the 3 times 3 tic-tac-toe. You can play n times n tic-tac-toe. There are versions of it which have gravity, like the 4-connect game, which kids also love to play. This is, too simple even. So it's even much more simple than the 3 times 3 tic-tac-toe, which is a draw. But here we have always a win. You cannot actually play any different game than to win. So you place a stone, and then your opponent places, W places a stone, and whatever you do, you win. We call this God number 2 because we want to have, like in chess made in 2 moves should be God number 2. And that's actually what happens here. In this case, this is a simple chess game where we have a draw, and obviously a draw. We looked at small cases also with 2 times 4 cases with 2 pawns on each, or then 1 pawn on each, or 1 pawn with opposite position. And in that case, the graph is already quite large, but still a graph which the computer can explore completely. The complete game graph is accessible in that case. And that's it for today.